What's up, nerds and geeks? My name is OMG WTF. Hello, FTWBRB, and welcome back to day 9 of 31 days of Royal Rumble reviews. We are reviewing the 1996 Royal Rumble, and oh boy, this is going to be a fun one. So let's just jump right into it, guys. So we get Sunny starting off the show. She's in a bathtub by herself, and she pretty much tells us that viewer discretion is advised, despite after watching this, it really wasn't. Maybe with Goldust, but I don't know. Anyway, production is actually noticeably higher this year. That's kind of it's cool to see that. It's definitely, they've upped their production quality this time around. Vince McMahon and Mr. Perfect are on commentary this time around, so it's always interesting how many, they really jumped commentators a lot during the early days. Like, we've gone from Vince and Jesse Ventura to Jesse Ventura and Gorilla Monsoon, to Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby the Brain Heenan, to Vince and a whole bunch of different guys every year, like Ted DiBiase, Jerry Lawler, Mr. Perfect. It doesn't make sense why they always do this. Anyway, we go to our first match of the night between Jeff Jarrett and Ahmed Johnson. We get a nice little video package between Jarrett and Ahmed, showing why they are kind of feuding here, I guess on an episode of Saturday Night Main Event or whatever it was called. Double J attacks Ahmed Johnson with a bunch of steel chairs and I think a piece of glass at one point. Ahmed Johnson gets a lot of crap from what I hear from a lot of people, but I really enjoyed his in-ring work in this matchup. He was very impressive, and it's a shame that he never really got the push that he was supposed to get. I think injuries or something held him back, or drugs, but I enjoyed Ahmed here. We got a couple highlights in this matchup, not a whole bunch. Double J, he goes for numerous axe handles on Ahmed, but Ahmed just powers through them, doing the whole Hulk Hogan thing, nah, you ain't taking me down. And then he catches Double J for the final axe handle and gets him with a real bear hug. All the bear hugs we've seen at this point has just been the very lazy bear hugs with the guys still standing. No, he has Double J in the air. This is a real bear hug. Another really cool highlight that I did not expect to see in this matchup was Ahmed Johnson, this big-ass, muscular motherfucker, doing a suicide dive on the outside of the ring, excuse me? And then he climbs to the top turnbuckle at one point in the match and does a front flip on Double J. Of course, Double J moves out of the way, so he misses the front flip, but Ahmed Johnson's some athletic guy right here. Double J locks in the figure 4 at one point. Ahmed Johnson's able to reverse it. I don't even know why I made a highlight of that. That's not really a highlight. Jeff Jarrett, the match ends when Jeff Jarrett climbs to the top rope and smashes his guitar right over Ahmed's head. So Ahmed gets a DQ victory, but he is not happy because after the match he goes and chases Double J off. This was an alright match. It might have been... no, never mind. I was going to say it might have been the best match of the night, but I forgot about Goldust and Razor Ramon. That was definitely the best match of the night. But this was an alright opening match. Ahmed Johnson, in my opinion, is very underrated. We then go to a very generic interview / promo from Diesel. Again, just like last year, I can't even remember what he was going on about. He is not a good promo guy. He has the look, he was doing some cool stuff in the background, but when he talks, it's just shut up, dude. It's not good. We then go to the WWF Tag Team title match, the Body Donnas, of course, with Sunny, Skip, and Zip. I know Chris Candido is in this. I was told who the other Body Donna is, but I honestly forgot, so my apologies. But they're taking on the champions, the Smoking Guns, Bart and Billy Gunn. We get a Sunny pre-match promo, nothing too special there. She just kind of hypes up the Body Donnas. Couple highlights in this match again, not a lot going on here. Bart Gunn at one point he pulls the ropes down and sends one of the Body Donnas over. Excuse me, they look almost exactly alike, so it's going to be kind of hard telling them apart unless the name was said. And right after he tosses this Body Donna over, Billy just dives right at him, so it was a nice cool combination between the two. In fact, the Smoking Guns are over. It's pretty cool. Sunny at one point tries to seduce the Smoking Guns. And it was working. They were like, ooh, hello. It was funny because at one point the King was all like, I think she wants Bart Gunn, and then Vince is like, well, maybe she does. It's kind of interesting. It was funny. Made me laugh. Zip, who is not Chris Candido, he is Skip. He hits a chop on Bart, or a couple chops on Bart actually, But Bart just eats them. He's not selling these chops at all. We get another spot here where Sonny gets up on the apron and Billy Gunn is bouncing off the ropes. And when he bounces off the ropes, he knocks Sonny off. He then goes on to check on Sonny, which leads to a beatdown on the outside of the ring with the body Donnas taking out Billy Gunn. And then Bart has to come over and break it up. So this is a nice, cool story being told there of them pretty much saying, you know, get away from Sonny. She's not your girl. The Body Donnas are not only their Smoking Guns good with tag team work, but the Body Donnas are also as well. They did a lot of moves together, like they had an aided suplex spot, an aided powerbomb spot. Like they're working well as a team. There's at one point where one of the Body Donnas and Billy Gunn bump into each other. I'm not really sure. I kind of missed it. I put a question mark after it. Again, I don't know why I made it a highlight. I'm going to have to start making my highlights a little better because some of these highlights are retarded. Okay. Anyway, we get a backbreaker leg drop combo from the Smoking Guns. Great spot. Like, loved it. But, of course, the referee is distracted by Sonny, which leads to one of the Body Donnas climbing up on the turnbuckle and hitting an elbow to break up the pin. They start looking for a double team maneuver, but are never able to get it off because Billy runs in and he hits the spear on one of the Body Donnas while Bart ends up rolling up the other one to retain the WWF Tag Team Championships. So there you go. It's a mediocre match. Nothing too special here. Definitely better than the world title and Royal Rumble match, though. I'll just say that. We then go to this skit, which is called Billionaire Ted's Wrestling War Room, which is just this whole skit of a guy obviously, you know, mimicking Ted Turner. We got Hulk Hogan and the Nacho Man in there. Vince Russo, I missed him, but apparently he was, you know, playing a part. But they're all talking about how they've got, like, the new generations of wrestlers and how Ted has, like, all the old guys and all that. It was funny because at one point Ted says, we need to get some of those new WWF guys. And don't you worry, Ted. Just wait a couple years and you'll be getting some new WWF guys in a very short time. This was funny stuff. Good stuff from Vince McMahon. I enjoyed this. We then go to the Goldust versus Razor Ramon hype video. It talks about how Goldust kept showering Razor with gifts and how he's kind of like obsessed with him, which gets on Razor's nerves. There's a nice backstage brawl between the two. And of course, this all led to Goldust's true intentions, the Intercontinental Championship, which we go on to the Intercontinental Championship match, which is the best match of the night. Goldust comes out with Marlena, who is Terry Runnels, if you don't know that. I'm not sure if this is Marlena's debut, because Vince McMahon and them are all like, they weren't mentioning her by name. They're like, oh, who's this mysterious woman? So it very well could be Marlena's debut. Of course, Razor Ramon is the champion. These entrances take forever, like not even Goldust. Both Goldust and Razor Ramon's entrance take forever. Goldust plays his character perfectly, by the way. It's kind of interesting when you think about it, because apparently he hated the gimmick, if you listen to his WCW promo as Seven, but he plays this character perfectly. Like, at one point, he goes behind Razor Ramon and he, like, feels him up. There's another point where, like, Razor smacks Goldust in the ass and he's like, ooh, like, he likes it. It was a great story being told by Goldust here. He is great. There's many times during the match where Goldust ends up hiding behind Marlena to pretty much prevent Razor from going after him. Razor ends up picking Marlena for, like, picking her up to move her out of the way, but he, like, really picked her up. Like, holy crap, she was, like, at least 10 feet in the air. And then Goldust attacks her for it, pretty much. Goldust picks Razor up and he bounces him off the top rope for a beautiful back body drop. Love it when they do that. There's a funny spot here where Marlena blows, obviously, glitter, like gold glitter, in Razor's face, but they call it gold dust, so she blows gold dust in Razor's face. That's kind of interesting. There's another funny spot where Goldust has a sleeper hold locked in on Razor Ramon, and Mr. Perfect says, well, if he puts Razor to sleep, he can do anything he wants to him. That was funny stuff. Razor Ramon backs the ref up at one point to low blow Goldust, so he's pretty much backing the ref up while Goldust is behind him, and he pretty much kicks his leg back to get him in the nuts. He then goes for a backdrop from the top, but he pretty much hurts Marlena in the process, who was in the ring. Like, I guess the ring bouncing hurt her ankle or something, so she distracts the ref for a while, which leads to the 1-2-3 Kid coming out, who climbs to the top turnbuckle, hits a spinning heel kick on or right to the back of the head of Razor Ramon, and Goldust pins him to win the WWF Intercontinental Championship. So, a little sloppy towards the end, I won't lie, but overall, a good match. Anyway, we jump into a couple of Rumble promos. We have Sean's personal doctor. He thinks Sean's ready. We then go to Owen Hart, Jake Roberts, Jerry Lawler, Vader, HBK, and Barry Horowitz cutting a promo. If I had to choose one, Vader's was probably the best, just because Vader's great. We go into the 30-man Royal Rumble. Number 1 is Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and I guess apparently on Free For All, which I believe is Sunday Night Heat before it was Sunday Night Heat. It shows Hunter Hearst Helmsley getting disqualified in his match against Duke the Dumpster Droese, which led to him being number 1 and Duke being number 30, so we already know who's number 30 in this match as well. Number 2 is Henry Goodwin. The eliminations take forever in this match, by the way. Like, holy crap. We'll get to an elimination when we get to it, but still, so at one point in this matchup, the King, who is number 4, he comes out and he actually grabs Henry Goodwin's bucket, which has all the slop in there and all that, and he goes to slop him, but Goodwin fights back and he's able to grab the bucket, and Hunter Hearst Helmsley, I believe Bob Backlund, and the King all get out of the ring, and they're all planning outside what they should do until Godwin finally throws the slop on all 3 of them, and I think he got a couple of fans too, which that sucks. Jake Roberts makes his return to the Royal Rumble. I believe this is his final Rumble appearance as well, but he ends up tying Tito Santana for 7 appearances in the Royal Rumble, so that's good for him. He lets Damien out right away, and Damien is freaking huge. Like, I don't remember Damien being that big. Everyone cowers out of the ring the second they see Damien. The King, he ends up having Damien put on him, but I guess the snake must have been like super cold, because the second they open that bag, he crawls right back in this. I didn't see this, but my buddy said Damien actually snapped at Jake Roberts, so that's kind of cool. The King actually gets out of the ring and he goes to hide under the ring, so I don't know if this happened after the snake spot or when it happened, but he pulls the classic, cowardly heel thing by hiding under the ring here. And then finally, after 8 entrants, guys, 8 people have entered, we finally get our first elimination by Yokozuna to eliminate Bob Backlund. 8 people came out and we didn't get an elimination. It took forever, guys. Took forever. Anyway, 1, 2, 3 Kid, he comes out to make his entrance for the Royal Rumble. But Razor Ramon, who took exception to him costing him the IC title, so similar to what Brett did last year, he comes in. He doesn't get his hands on the 1, 2, 3 Kid, but he proceeds to chase him like in and out of the ring a bunch of times until the referees start taking him to the back. But Razor slips the refs again. We go right back to him chasing the 1, 2, 3 Kid until finally he's escorted out again, and Kid is allowed to be in the Royal Rumble. I mentioned it earlier. These eliminations are taking forever. I believe this is our 2nd elimination. I don't know. Mabel takes out Yokozuna. These eliminations take way too long. Way too long, guys. Something interesting here is Dory Funk Jr. was in this Royal Rumble. Did not expect to see Dory Funk Jr., but that's pretty cool. Vader's so powerful, guys. So powerful. All he does is punch Jake the Snake Roberts in the middle of the ring, I may add. Punches him in the middle of the ring, and Roberts is sent back and over the rope. So strong. So strong. Here's something interesting. The Headhunters, Headhunter A and B, are in this Royal Rumble. I did not know that the Headhunters ever worked for WWF, but apparently they did. And they are known as the Squat Squad, or Squat Team, or something like that. It was... Really? You're going to call these 2 big guys a squat team? Like, you're doing it as a joke. One of the Headhunters is eliminated rather early on. I believe it was by Vader. But then the next entrance is the other Headhunter. And despite one already being eliminated, both the Headhunters, or SWAT team members, get in the ring together. But that doesn't help them too much because they are eliminated rather quickly by both Yokozuna and Vader here. And this is getting to the part where this Rumble really started pissing me off, guys. So, Vader is working on Yokozuna, or they're both working on each other. And this leads to Shawn Michaels, believe it or not, little old Shawn Michaels, tossing out both Vader and Yokozuna. So that's kind of cool. That's not what pissed me off, though. This is what pisses me off. So Vader jumps Yokozuna on the outside of the ring, and then he gets back in the ring and starts attacking Shawn Michaels. And here's what gets me. Vader technically eliminates Shawn Michaels, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and Sparkplug Bob Holly. Like, he clearly throws all three of those men over the ropes. The only one that he threw over the ropes that didn't get eliminated was, I think Owen, because he hung on. But despite Shawn Michaels, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and Sparkplug being thrown over the ropes, none of them counted. They were allowed to stay in the Royal Rumble because Vader was already eliminated. Now, what's bullshit here is this is how Ric Flair won the Royal Rumble, from assistance from Hulk Hogan. Like, this is not a rule. This has never been a rule. This is, even past this Royal Rumble, people eliminated by people out and who are already out, it still counts. Like, this really pissed me off, guys. Like, how dare you insult my intelligence? Shawn Michaels, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, and Sparkplug Bob Holly are out of this Royal Rumble, but whatever. While Shawn Michaels is on the outside of the ring, he proceeds to crawl under the ring and pull Jerry the King Lawler out to eliminate him. So, I don't know why the King's eliminated, because Shawn's technically eliminated. It shouldn't count, but whatever. Triple H finally gets eliminated, and he is the Iron Man of this matchup, so good for him. Oh, excuse me, I called him Triple H. Hunter Hearst Helmsley. And then finally, number 30, as we already knew, is Duke the Dumpster Droese. We have Davey Boy Smith and Owen Hart beating down on Shawn Michaels on the outside of the ring here. By the way, there's another thing I really don't like about these early Rumbles. The fact how they really take advantage of getting out of the ring. Like, I don't like that, man. I really don't like it. It's stupid to me. Stay in the ring. Like, don't go to the outside of the ring, because then it just gets confusing. And I think they realize that later on, but I hate when they go through the middle rope or the bottom rope just to get away for a bit. It's stupid. Anyway, our final four of the night is British Bulldog, Diesel, Shawn Michaels, and Kama Mustafa, who I believe, I know, is the Godfather. From what I was told, though, the Ringmaster, who is Stone Cold Steve Austin, if you don't know who that is, I guess he botched at one point, because from what I understand, he was supposed to be in the final four, so I guess he botched at one point, and there you have that. Anyway, Bulldog's eliminated rather early. Diesel takes out Kama, and then Shawn Michaels hits a super kick to send Diesel out. And there you have it. Shawn Michaels wins his second Royal Rumble, and despite Vince McMahon and Mr. Perfect saying, well, he's the first person to win a Royal Rumble back-to-back, wrong. No, he's not. Hulk Hogan's the first to win a Royal Rumble back-to-back. He won the 1990 and 1991 Royal Rumble. I get that they might be trying to, like, shun Hulk Hogan here because he left for WCW and the whole steroid scandal and all that. So they probably wanted somebody, working for them now who, to be the thing. But don't lie to my face and tell me that. Like, by the way, Shawn Michaels did not eliminate Diesel. Diesel technically won this Royal Rumble. I'm not going to let that go. Shawn Michaels was eliminated, despite what they like to believe. Diesel technically won this Royal Rumble. Anyway, Diesel does get back in the ring. He puts his hand up for a high five. Shawn high fives him, and they celebrate. So there you have that. And that Royal Rumble was not the main event this time around. Thank God it wasn't, but then again, the main event itself wasn't much better either. We go to the WWF Championship match. The Undertaker alongside Paul Bearer taking on champion Bret Hart. You would think this match would be good, but good God, this match was slow and boring. Like I mentioned earlier, how Bret Hart, always working on the leg, and that's kind of his story. That's all he did in this match was work on the leg. Undertaker has his mask, so this must be around the time that Mabel broke his orbital bone, I believe it was. I could be wrong there. Diesel and Taker end up brawling before the match because Diesel hasn't yet left the ring from the Royal Rumble, and Taker's coming down. Diesel kept saying stupid stuff like, I ain't afraid of the dark and all that. This is obviously leading up to Diesel and Taker at WrestleMania. Like I said, this is just a dull match. I don't really have any highlights for this match. Late in the match, Bret takes the mask off, but he doesn't hit him with it or anything. So it was kind of stupid. Anyway, The Undertaker hits a tombstone on Bret Hart, but Diesel comes out, and he pulls the referee out for a disqualification win. So like 25 minutes or 30 minutes of a match, dull match by the way, that never picked up, leads to a disqualification. What a waste of my time. Anyway, there you have it. That's it. The show doesn't even end with the match. It ends with a bunch of pointless interviews with Shawn Michaels, Diesel, Undertaker, all these stupid, pointless interviews that had no place on the show. Overall, this show sucked, guys. This is one of the worst wrestling shows I've ever watched. In fact, let's go ahead. We'll pull up our rankings here, and as you can see, Royal Rumble 1996 has beaten 1988 as the worst Royal Rumble. What a shit show this was. This Rumble was the absolute drizzling shit, man. This show sucked. The only highlights really were Ahmed Johnson and the Intercontinental title match. Everything else was just dull or mediocre. So anyway, the current standings, 1993, despite me getting some slack for it, I still think it's the best Rumble we've watched so far. 1992, 1994, 95, 90, 89, 91, 88, and then 96 rounding out the bottom for an absolute crappy show. Either way, that is going to be the end of this review. I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, do me a favor, leave me a comment, like, and subscribe if you have done already. And as always, my name has been OMG, WTF, LOL, FTW, BRB. We'll be back later on tonight on Twitch to do day 10. And then I'll probably do day 11 and 12 on Friday, since I'm off on Friday, so it might be easier to do that. But, yeah, so day 10 tonight, probably a little later because I get off work around 10:30, so it's going to be another late stream. But, yeah, that's going to be the end of this review. Hope you guys enjoyed this review more than the actual Rumble. But I will see you guys next time. Have a good one.